Happy Saturday, Collective. I'm actually recording a reading because one of my new internet kids, um, she wanted, she likes listening to these as she's going to bed. So I'm like, what makes for a good story? So we're going to do a reading that is a bedtime story. Which I'm kind of feeling maybe Alice in Wonderland and maybe the Shapeshifters. Maybe we'll close it out with a divine door, and that doorway will be like a gateway for dreams and all that. And maybe also a closing with an angel number. We'll fill it out. I was just like throwing it out there as like a possibility. Oh look, I have a card that doesn't even belong in here, but it's a moon. So, and it's the full moon card. That deck in particular actually has a moon card for every moon phase. So we have first out, I will soon as here, but I will show you who you can trust. This is also card number 2 on the deck. So your birthday may be in February, the 2nd of a month. You may be seeing the number 2, maybe a special synchronicity. We also have Mermaid in a Koi Pond that talks about rediscovering your individuality and becoming the dragon, but it was reversed. So somebody in collective has an inner dragon, but you're either refusing to become it and or you're not being willing to embrace your inner authenticity. That's what it's telling me. Oh, and you're also needing some space in a relationship. And Little Red Riding Hood is here saying, I am not a victim. So I feel like all of us already, look, whenever that Beauty and the Beast comes out and we start seeing you need some space in a relationship, uh, you may have a situation going on with somebody where you need to set boundaries. And maybe you're not even totally sure why, because we see like this bunny under the moon, right? This bunny under the moon, there's something in this relationship that you're not able to see, and I feel like Spirit's going to reveal it to you. Yeah, and it says you won't let fear stop you this time. So maybe if you've been feeling like you need to leave or exit this relationship, then I feel like you should do it, okay? Because whatever this moon card is representing, like, there's something here that you don't see. And wow, as I'm talking about that, little wolf girl comes out with that moon in the corner. Look at that. And she says, it's all right to be alone. Yeah, so maybe you've been feeling like you should leave this person and you weren't really sure if you should do it. Yeah, because maybe it's like, maybe the feeling that makes you feel like you should, like you don't have any proof for it, right? But this moon is like what you can't see. So what you can't see is like, this is the thing, like you don't have proof of this because there's no way for you to, but the little worm is here and you're being guided to take care of yourself and to be committed to taking care of yourself. So Spirit not only wants you to take care of yourself, but they want you to commit to taking care of yourself. Like, you need to not just love yourself, but put yourself first. Bottom of the deck is Bats in the Belfry, and this talks about you can achieve great things. So we're gonna put that there. We're gonna move this moon. We're gonna hold on to this moon because I don't know why that card is with this deck because it doesn't belong there, but it's in there, so we took it. So this deck was the Shapeshifters deck, which is and then this is my Alice in Wonderland deck. So this managed to be glad. I picked it up upside down. It fell in my lap, so it's hard to tell which way it was meant to come out. but this talks about creating your own happiness regardless of circumstances. So I feel like that it is kind of piggybacking off of this. So you feel like you're nervous about walking away from this person because you don't know if you'll be happy, but you're being guided to do this anyway. And I feel like this is a huge lesson for you because you're going to learn how to be happy whether you're with this person or not. So you might feel like, how am I going to be happy if I'm alone? Or how am I going to be happy if this one person isn't here? Or what about this? So I feel like, you know what this kind of is actually now, like, the more I'm like starting to like feel and tap into this energy. And I know, and like what I'm about to talk to you about is so personal for me because, um, so I turn 50 next month, right? And for a lot of my life, especially like almost my whole entire adult life, has been dealing with narcissistic people, right? And so a couple of years ago, I started having like this massive wake up, right? And I was like, you know, I'm sure narcissists love everybody, right? But if all of the significant people in my adult life have been major narcissists to a point of like emotional abuse that's forcing me to go and heal like this, like, so like if I keep attracting people like this, it must be something in me, right? Because the only common denominator in all these situations is me. And that was what woke me up to realize that something in me wasn't like how it should be. And I had to go and heal. So what I'm about to say is that this feels like a codependent energy. And in that codependence energy, and I want to speak to that and say, when I say this is a codependent energy, you don't need to feel ashamed, okay? Most people, if you have a codependent problem, what this means is that your nervous system gets panicked with certain triggers. And certain triggers are going to put you in a state that puts you in survival mode or it puts you in fight or flight mode. And so through your process, the way that life was for you growing up didn't prepare you to develop proper self-soothing techniques. So instead of self-soothing, we develop these codependent needs, right? So sometimes it looks like substance abuse, but sometimes it's not substance abuse at all. Sometimes it's like people addictions or sex addictions, or it can come in a lot of forms. And it's like something in your so do you probably get like attachment styles where you get like freaked out about feeling abandoned. So even if you don't feel emotionally attached to somebody, just the idea or feeling of them walking away may make you panic and feel like, well, I don't want this person to leave me because it's triggering my codependency wounds. And I totally get that because when I tell you how much I've been through that, like the past few years, like the amount is like astronomical and it's like disgusting almost. It would make me feel ashamed of myself, except that I do feel like I had to go through this and learn this because I feel like learning how to heal this is going to help me to help other people heal their codependency. You also have All in the Golden Afternoon, which is the number one card of this deck. And it talks about inspiration, creative spark, imagination, and conception. Like, you're a really creative person, and you can thrive and do well regardless of whether this person is in your life or who is in your life. This that's in you, this is part of you, and you don't need anybody outside of you to make you shine like a golden afternoon. You are the golden afternoon, but you have to be able to see it for yourself. At the end of The Wizard of Oz, and when Glinda the Good Witch is telling her, all you have to do is click your heels and go home, and then she tells her, actually, you could have done this all along, but you had to believe this for yourself, you know? And this is like a huge part of healing codependency in us, because the codependency makes you feel like if this person leaves, or if you don't have this one person in your life, you're not going to be okay. But that's actually not true. That's not true. That's just your fear, and fear is a liar, okay? You're more than that feeling. You're more than your insecurity, and you're more than your fear of not being able to survive or make it through life without whoever this is in your life, you know? But this card, this in the golden afternoon, and then we also saw over here where it's like, um, you're not gonna let fear stop you this time. And it's okay to be alone. You know, you just need to commit. You need to commit, make a commitment to yourself. We have believe in strange encounters. You need to believe in yourself. There may be some things that start to happen in your life. From the time you hear this message over the next coming weeks, you may be having I'm hearing some supernatural occurrences and or things that are synchronistic to you in your life, but they are oddly specific to you. Okay, so it's things that probably like to other people isn't going to seem like anything important, but you'll know who you are. You know what that means to you. You know what I mean? So like this is going to start to show you, and I think you're going to start maybe like what this villain is giving me, like these things that are going to happen to show you is going to be less about this. It does not even have anything to do with this other person, because I feel like the universe wants this person out of your life, and the universe feels like, even though for you right now you're feeling like you and this other person, like this is the most important thing for you, and spirit is actually like, um not to act like they shouldn't matter to you at all, but this is actually not the important thing, and this is not what you should be focusing all your time and attention on, and that they want you to focus on yourself. They want you to believe in you. And so they're going to start showing you where you have this talent and creative ability, and they want you to focus on that and cultivate that. So we also have follow your own good advice, but it's upside down. So this means that you're probably somebody, um, you're probably a wise person or an old soul, and you have good advice for everybody else. But when it comes to you, that you don't follow your own advice. But you know what? Sometimes I think that's actually really easy to happen. You know, sometimes people who are strong, we're so used to being strong for other people that when we need to be, when we need help, sometimes we can't. It's hard to seek help and or allow others to help us like in the way we need, you know. Yeah, so you need, yeah, this is talk about coming home and grounding. So you're going through a time where you really need to ground yourself, but spirit wants you to ground yourself in yourself. So like, lately there's like all these messages about copycats, right? And so like there's been like these people out in the collective or spiritual space who want to act like these other star seeds and spiritual workers. And it's like, dude, you know what? Stop. You don't need to pretend to be anybody else. Just be authentically you. And if you don't know what it means to be authentically you, that means that you've been disassociated from your true inner self for a very long time. And you just need to re-anchor that. And you need to reconnect with that inner child in you, which is that making that commitment. You know, you need to commit to finding your real inner self, your inner voice. What do you like? What do you feel passionate about? What are your dreams? Do you have dreams? Do you want to have a dream? Do you want to, you know what I mean? Like, never mind what everybody else wants. Never mind what everybody else is excited about. I mean, it was nice of you to support these other people and what they were excited about, but that doesn't need to be what your passion is just because they're excited about it. Like, you can be excited about anything you want. Just make sure that it's what you want and that you don't just want it because it seems like that's what other people like. Don't be afraid to like your own things. Yeah, you're being called to lead the way. So, which is like talking about being a leader, showing others how it's done. You can help others. But you can help others not by just enabling them where they're at, but you can be the leader who helps show, like, who creates a roadmap of, like, all right, well, when you want to break out and you want to do this, these are the steps you can take. Like these people who make these masterclass videos on YouTube, it's like giving that kind of energy. And you have, I wonder what will happen next. At first, it was going to be upside down. So maybe you don't want, maybe you already know what it is you should be doing next. And talk about ready to adventure, the precipice of change, or the pause before the action. So the fact that this was going to be upside down makes me feel like you're ready for this action and this change. Like, because the card is saying, I wonder what will happen. But you don't even need to wonder what do you mean you wonder what will happen? You know what will happen. Ooh, we have shine like bright like a candle, but it was upside down. Yeah. So at the moment, you're really not shining like this candle like you could be. And the universe wants you to shine. They want you to shine bright. It's time to shine. Come on out from them and be separate. For my heavenly Father has called you to be a royal priesthood unto him. So come in and step into the light and accept your role for what you were born and called to be. Come be the real you and put off this falseness that you've been masking around in. Because the real you actually has a role in all of this, and Spirit wants you to play your role. And you're not going to be playing your role while you're busy trying to be everybody else. Okay? Spiritual birth. Oh my God, you guys. I'm getting so much acid reflux right now. Holy smokes. It's like setting my throat chakra. My heart and throat chakra are like so on fire right now. So we also had nature communication, which talks about flower and fairy energies and elemental messengers, but it was upside down. So I feel like you could be getting messages from nature and or the elements around you, but you're not being able to properly receive them and or understand them because you're not being true to yourself. You're being one of these copycat people who are out here trying to replicate and or mirror other people's energy instead of embracing and showcasing your own personal authentic energy. You need to be you, because when you're not being you, you're not going to get, like, the universe has messages for you, but you're not getting them because you're not being in your own energy. You're so busy trying to be in all these other people's energy, which the Spirit is saying. Spirit wants, dude, my light above me just flickered. Like, shh. Spirit wants you, they want you to be you, okay? They want you to be you. Somebody's ancestors are in the house. Now it's making me want to get my light and dark deck out. I'm like, oh, just somebody's ancestors? Ooh wee. So this card usually talks about trying to please everyone. Yeah, you need to get out of this people pleasing energy. Stop worrying about making everybody else happy. What about you? You deserve to be happy also. And so busy trying to make everybody else happy that it's like, you know what? Here's the harsh truth about being a people pleaser. Is the thing you need to realize is at the end of the day, you're never going to make 100% of people all happy all the time. You know why? Because people are fickle and people change their minds all the time. And like what people want today, they're going to want something different tomorrow. And are you going to change yourself every time people's flavors and shades and what they want is different? Why? That's why that's why you're disassociated from yourself. You can't stay connected with yourself because you're busy like trying to be in all these other energies, and none of those are your energy. You need to be back in your own energy. Yeah, you have this. You now at the bottom of the deck we have choose who you will become. It's like, there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from other people. So like you can look at these other people that you admire and be like, well, I really like this person and I really like what they stand for. So I want to incorporate elements of that into what I'm doing going forward. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that. you know but there's a difference between being inspired by and incorporating elements and feeling like you have to be that person. And or even to a point where sometimes you might feel like it starts to push you in this competitive energy with people, and you're feeling like, oh, I can be the better version of them. No, you can't, dude. If you are being a version of them that's different from the version of them that they are right now, first of all, if you were doing that, you're not being a better version of them. You're just being a version of you that is inauthentic and not the real you, okay? And wanting that person to be in this way that you think is better is actually not true and authentic to them. Don't try to make this other person be somebody that they're not. Why can't you accept this person in their own energy the way that they are? You look at this other person and you want to look down on them and condescend on them and think, oh, this person has this shortcoming because they're not like this. Well, yeah, because that's not how they are. That's in their authenticity, they're not like that. And they don't have to be that way. Nobody has to be just like everybody else. Nobody does. And you're trying to make other people seem like they're less than because they're not acting like everybody else is bullshit, dude. It's bullshit. You're the one who's messed up if when you're not, you're the all this right here says that you yourself are not even showing up in your own energy, but you want to criticize other people for how they show up in their energy. Like, who are you to talk about anybody when you don't even know who the fuck you are? Seriously, dude, shut the fuck up and get it together, man. Seriously. Stop talking about other people and looking down on other people. You don't even have your shit together. You don't know who you are. You're disassociated from yourself. Stop it, dude. Stop. You have all this potential and you could be somebody great. And oh, so see, you have clairvoyance, so you should be able to. Everything I've said to you right now, I bet you know that is exactly on point. That is the truth for you, and you already fucking know it. You know it. You know it's true. And the fact that you know this and you still keep doing this stuff is like, what are you doing, dude? You're self sabotaging, and you know what, you probably are trying to be these other people because for whatever reason you'll see people in a certain light and you think, oh, that wants to be me, because at the end of the day you just want to be in that light because you need to be seen. You just want to be seen, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to be seen, but that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with anybody else being seen. It's not like other people being seen is preventing from you from being seen. You're not being seen because you're not in your true authentic energy. That's why you're not being seen. If you would step into your true essence and nature and embrace yourself, you will instantly be embraced for who you are. And right now we have card number 10, which is the Eclipse Mermaid. There's a powerful energy shift coming for you. And if you don't choose to do this, the universe will give you, I don't know what's about to happen to you, fam, but something's going to happen to you. And like I said back here, when I saw this other card, I said, oh, you know what? That's the universe is going to start sending you lots of these little things that are going to pop up in your life to show you where your creative essence and where you should be focusing at. And it is my suggestion to you that you pay attention and heed these reveals. You're being guided to count your blessings, so maybe you're actually also not being grateful enough for what you already have in your life. Like, you can't appreciate what you have and you're just fixated on what everybody else has. Well, what about what you have already? You're not thankful for it. Why do you want the universe to give you more when you already don't appreciate what it is you already have? You think the universe is going to give you everybody else's life when you can't even be grateful for what you have in your own? And then you have Poe is here. And it's talking about it's time for a change. It's time to learn something new, to use technology and gadgets with wisdom. So maybe you've been using the internet and or your devices to do things that are not good and that are not contributing and building up the path that you should be on. And they're going to show you how to do it better so that you can get on your own path and be more. So it looks like you've been in a group of 3. So maybe you're a witch and you're somebody who like wants to be a powerful witch with your sisters or people you would consider your sisters. But now something's going on lately that's been causing you guys to have a collision of beliefs, styles, attitudes, and energies. Maybe too, like when it was talking about belonging to your own dream, maybe some of the people you were supporting were these two girls on the side. But you're being called to step away from this. The universe wants you to leave that behind. You're meant to be doing something else. This, what you're doing with these two girls, that's not meant, you're not meant to be doing that. You're not meant to be doing that. And you already see it because we saw that wing seer. So you already see this. Like, I'm sure anything I'm telling you right now isn't anything you don't already know. Okay? You already see it. You know it. And at the bottom of the deck, we have that it's a time for spirit. What I say. So spirit is calling you. You need to take some time to go meditate, journal, start really committing to yourself and looking inward. Because if you don't do it willingly, the universe is going to force you into it. Even though we have free will, but with this eclipse energy coming in, the storm angel, it's like you're about to be hard shifted back into your own energy, and you don't want the universe to have to drop kick you into it because that's really rough, and it's such a bad time. If that happens, you'll be thrust into a dark night of the soul, and they'll suck, dude. I've been through so many. I went through a 10-year dark night of the soul, and then I've been through a few other dark night of the soul since then. I thought when I finished mine that I wouldn't even have to go through it anymore, but I've still been through it. So if you listen this far, thanks. If you didn't listen this far, then whatever, right? You wouldn't even be here hearing this. As always, I appreciate everybody who's been giving me likes and follows and subscribes. And if you'd like a personal reading, you can buy them through Coffee. If you do a subscription to Coffee, you'll get a free reading every month. So that's all I have for you right now. And sorry to my internet daughter. If this is too spicy of a message to go to sleep to, then, but this is what Spirit had, so this is what I had to say. So have a good night.